What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Thai Life channel. I'm Min Thai. Next to me, my best friend, Du Hong.
We're back at it again.
Before we start the show, I just want to give you a quick recap why I haven't done my podcast lately. 2 months ago, you all know I came out with my own beauty brand, and I want to give it some time, market, let people know what it's all about. But I want to get back to podcasting. But this time, I want to do it differently. I have a co-host, which we're going to just talk about life in general. We're going to talk about how we overcome obstacles, and we're going to try to be motivated through this podcast so that we can help one another out as you are listening to us chit-chatting.
And also, I think it's just nice to be able to kind of be real with everyone about, hey, how difficult it is to be able to start up a business, especially doing this thing, rather than on the, I wouldn't call it on the side, but as in addition to what we're doing, with our daily lives.
So what's that working out like for you, man? Like I know this is something new for you at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not like you never had a business, but this is more like different, like compared to what you usually get yourself in. Because I know you're more like an engineer and you work with robotics, you work with kids. Putting you into this new position of understanding what beauty industry is all about, it must be difficult. So go ahead and share your thought with us.
It is, I mean, I remember the very first time when you approached me, like, hey, dude, you want to do this with me? And I'm like, well, man, I don't know anything about the beauty industry. I don't use any of the stuff myself. But I'm always open to learn about stuff. And that's why I can never say no to these type of things, because things, even though yes, it does add additional time, but life is all about growing and learning about different things and seeing how you can always take what you know and what you're really good at and really help help the team out in whatever aspect you can. So, but I mean, like for me personally, right? It has been, obviously it's been a steep learning curve, especially learning about, wow, hey, that's why I'm always asking you, so what does this tool do? Why do we need this oil? Or why do we need, like, and these are all good stuff for me to be able to know and learn as we're doing this. But the road has not been smooth, right? Obviously.
Absolutely not. I don't think anything is smooth when you talk about like trying something new.
Yes.
There's always some kind of fear of trying something new because new is uncertainty, right? We don't know what's ahead of us, but if you don't try it, you won't know it.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, like the last 2 months as a content creator myself, it's been a big shift. Like can you imagine like the last 3 years, I'm making content about the nail industry. I'm making tutorials. I'm making memes out of it, right? And now it's like I have my own brand, and I still want to keep my purpose. I still want to keep my foundation of how I started. Because what happened is that like when you have your own brand, it's a new project. You focus so much on that, you forget.
You lose your
main purpose.
Yes.
And that was stressful for me. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you know that, but I was going through a little bit stress about like, hey, how do I balance out my content?
And plus, I think what it is like, you've been so successful in what you're doing, especially the people love your content, right? And the idea is like, now how can I stretch out this way? And that's always been a challenge, because growth and something that we're not comfortable with has always been a challenge, right? And,
Absolutely.
Right, and no matter how you put it, it's it's not like one day and night where one day you're good at this and the next day you're selling this, but to make it natural, right? To make it to be able to say, hey guys, this is what I do, and then this is my brand. But both of these items, both of these things do have some connection, and it is a reflection of me and who I am, right?
That is the hardest thing to target, is because like I still want to keep my organic content, but at the same time, like how do I convert that organic content into letting people know like, hey, I also have this to offer.
Yes.
But I also try to tell myself like, hey man, this is like new. Like you just started 2 months ago. Give it some time. Work your way. Because I know sometimes we get into the state of mind where like we see momentum building up and you just want to keep grinding at it. And sometimes by doing that, you kind of lose base on, like I say, your original purposes,
Yep.
What about you? Like, I know you have your own business
Oh,
as
yes.
an engineer. You have your own business as coaching and mentoring robotic coaches.
Yes.
How's that playing out for you with this business that you're in right now and doing your other business?
It's been like I said, I think it's been pretty tough, especially when so what I usually do, and for those who don't know, I'm a actually competitive robotics coach, and in the Bay Area is usually where all my clients are, and I usually go there every weekend. So for me, being being in both worlds, and actually this is I just barely started this business just very recently within the last year, and also doing this at the same time. It's been kind of a juggle for me being able to say, okay, hey, how much time do I spend here? What's needed, and it's for me, especially with the commute, it's I it's the commute itself, being able to I have to go over there during the weekend, do my thing, and then when I'm there, I'm focused. I got to really make sure that I just give my clients the attention and everything. And then while that's going on, all the stuff is going on. So like I really have to like kind of like switch back and forth between both areas, and also at the same time, as we're like you're saying, you're grinding. Sometimes you gotta have to remind yourself, you know what, you do have to take a step back and sometimes take care of yourself a little bit and not really throw your. I mean, it's good to throw your 100% of yourself in there, but
Right.
also you don't want to wear out fast, right? You want to be able to go at a steady pace where like, wow, we like this, and like go at it so that we can still look at the process, get some feedback, and kind of just adjust as we go. We gotta always remind ourselves that it's not about just like really hitting it and just grinding it until
And I think what makes us want to keep grinding
Yeah.
is that we have this personality
Mhm.
where we constantly comparing ourselves with
Mhm.
other
Mhm.
companies.
Yeah.
But we also have to be more realistic. Like,
Yeah.
well, other companies, they've been established for 10 years,
Mhm.
20 years.
Mhm.
Like, you have to give yourself some time to grow. Like a plant, you
Yeah.
plant a tree, it doesn't grow overnight.
Yeah.
It takes so
Mhm.
much watering,
Mhm.
day and night,
Mhm.
sunlights, and all that,
Yep.
right? I think running a business is almost like the same
Mhm.
concept, but it's
Mhm.
just us human nature.
Yeah.
We tend just to be more laser focused at
Yeah.
some point,
Mhm.
and we, like you say, we just need to take a step
Mhm.
back.
Remind ourselves.
Now, how does that working out with family too? Like I know you have two business now. You have
Yeah.
your robotic, you have the Beyond the Cream.
Mhm.
How's that going with like juggling with kids? Because I know you
Right.
have a younger one, and
Mhm.
now tell us about that because I know there's a lot of people out there. They have families
Yeah.
and they want to start a business. I mean, a lot of time, the majority of time that people want to start a business is when they have a family. They don't have a business before they have a family. It's
Isn't that
weird,
crazy,
right?
right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
always kind of fall in line
Yeah.
like that. So how do you juggle all of those?
I don't know how to do it either. I mean, sometimes it's just, you have to kind of burn the candle at both ends. What that means is, once your kid goes to sleep, then that's time for you to work, and I think, I'm not sure about you, but me, I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, well, you know what, I don't have to impress anyone, right? I don't have to, just as long as I can, do decently to be able to put a roof on the top of my family's head. I'm at the point in my life where I can say, okay, I really want to focus on this. I really want to focus on this, and see where it goes. It is a risk, right? Because obviously, you're sometimes you're not spending time with your kids or spending enough time with your kid. But it's to the point where like, well, this is you either get one chance, right? You either do it or you don't, and I don't want to regret later on when I'm older. And it's like, man, you know what? I had so much opportunity to pursue that route and I didn't. So here, this is us doing it right now. We're just literally grinding through and say, hey, you know what? If it works out, works out. If it doesn't, well, you know what? I'm not gonna regret it because we tried.
I agree with you.
Right.
I think as we age,
Yeah.
we come to realize there is no if.
No.
You just either do it
Mhm.
and you find out if the answer is going to work or not.
Mhm.
And with that being said, you guys, the reason why we want to come up here and really share these thoughts with you guys is because, we are just any normal human
Yep.
or just having a family, trying to make it through life, trying to reach that goal where you can retire early. Hopefully, we can create some kind of passive income. I mean, that is the ultimate goal, right? And I want to bring this podcast alive is because I want you guys to see you guys can relate to our
Mhm.
experience, what we're going through. Because me and him, which is any normal,
Yep.
we migrated over here at a young age. We went to college, and he was a teacher. I'm a nail tech, also a manager at Toys R Us. So we had multiple degrees
Mhm.
and
Experiences.
that
Mhm.
we gone through, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, why are we still doing this? How
Mhm.
come we switch jobs? So with that being said, man, can you give us a little bit history about yourself, like how you get where you at today, from like valedictorian from high school, like give the viewers the feedback. What do you think about like the education, like what
Yeah.
what road they should take?
Yeah. And obviously, education is important, and I think it's good to for anyone to have the general education to be able to, have a good sense of just common sense in life, right? Um, but I think I guess the true test of everything is when you actually start working and doing what regardless of whether you're working for someone or like owning your own business, right? That's when you really learn the ins and out of whatever job you're doing. Um, like for me, I've been a teacher for over, I would say, 18 years, maybe more than 18
Quite
years,
long.
right? It's put in a way long. But what, I started out that, and I love being a teacher because I love working with the kids. And I had other career choices, but I decided I want to go that route because I really wanted to go back and it really influence others, especially kids with younger kids, to be able to uh, have them have the mindset to challenge themselves, especially in these more difficult careers like engineering, STEM, right? And so been doing robotics and STEM for a while, and I think after a while I kind of knew that I had a particular niche that I want to kind of pursue,
Yeah.
and with things changes in life, right? Sometimes you just kind of have to go with the blow. And an opportunity was brought up, like, hey, you know what? Maybe I can now just decide to go full in and try this out and see if it works. And so now, my niche is literally, I work well with kids. I through my, just through my experiences in teaching, right? And I can do whatever the parents can't do. So, for example, if the parents just, tell the kids, hey, like imagine at home when you have to tell your kids to clean up the room or tell your kids to do certain things, you think they're gonna listen to you?
No, they don't.
They don't.
say yes, but they just leave
Right.
it there.
Right. So, and that I think that's the biggest problem, is especially when parents are very involved and they want to be involved in especially the STEM and robotics scene, right? It's really difficult for them to coach and talk and just give the feedback to their own kid, and
Yeah.
so that's why I come in and I just I approach it from just my point of view, my experience, and say, hey, this is what I see. Here's how we're gonna approach this, and here's how you can improve yourself as a team. So. But I career wise, I think obviously it was, to anyone, it was really easy to be able to say, well, I can just become a teacher for the rest of the life. I mean, that was pretty, I wouldn't mind, like, if I was, let's say, if I won the lottery tomorrow, right? And I didn't have to work, would I still become a teacher? Probably I would, because I enjoy it. I enjoy
You love what you do.
I love what I do.
Yeah.
I have
You like sharing
I'm,
information like me.
oh yeah, definitely. Right.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about working with kids, especially
Absolutely.
in robotics. Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is that again, that's not reality, and we really wanna. You only live once, so I figure that now's the time to be able to get in there and to see if how I can pursue this really special niche that like doesn't it really exist. And so and while doing that at the same time, you tag me like, hey, dude, I'm planning to open up this brand right here. I know you have no experience in beauty and everything, but what do you think? And I said, hey, yeah, let's do it. I can help with whatever I can. So it is pretty tricky doing juggling both of this, but I think I'll do it as long as I can. And it is it's not an easy thing to do, everyone, just so that you guys are watching and you guys are known, right? It's for those guys who know me and through other ways as a teacher, you probably only see me in the educational STEM lens, but you have never seen me through this lens as far as being able to push something I'm very unfamiliar with, right? And
Working outside your comfort
oh
zone.
yeah, definitely. And it's perfectly normal. It is a lot of stress. It is stressful,
It is.
right? But it's
But I think
perfectly
you
normal.
create your own stress.
Yes.
A lot of time the business that we're in, here's the best part. The reason why we took this route to want to establish our own business is because we don't want to have a boss over our head.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be real about that. Throughout our life, we were taught to like, hey, go to school, work for somebody, which is great.
Mhm.
I mean, there will be a moment in your life you have to work for somebody so that you can learn
yeah,
from their
definitely.
experience, which is great. But eventually, you have to get that mindset like you need to do what you are capable of doing. Because I believe that all of us have our own some kind of skill set. It's just that it gets compressed by social media, to society demand what's normal.
Or if you work for someone, it's like saying, well, you can only do this, this, and this. Like literally,
Right.
you can't go outside of the box, and you can't do this because that's against our company policy.
Correct. And so that's the blessing why me and him we decide to take this route. Like hey, we're gonna go ahead and test some stuff out. But when we say test some stuff out, it's not that we don't know what we're doing. We're just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
First of all, from my experience, I've been in the nail industry for like 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
My whole family has salons.
Yeah.
You go to my sisters
Yes.
for haircuts.
Yes.
My other sister has a beauty supply shop. So we've been in the industry for so long, but it's just that I know myself that there is more to offer.
Yeah.
And I know from what I have seen and what I have used throughout my experience, like, hey, there's a simple solution. Why am I not getting that? So that's how we started this business called Beyond the Cream.
And for you, I think, from just my perspective, you're pretty much connecting the dots. Like, I think we spoke about this in our last podcast, but being able to have your experience, like, as a manager at Toys R Us, right, in sales, right, which is like completely difficult, right? And then working in the beauty industry with your family, having a lot of these, experiences, right, selling and owning shops and stuff like that, right? I think and then now, especially going to the next chapter in your life, being able to do this whole social media thing, right? Connecting the dot and seeing what's next that makes sense, and this is what's next.
And I think because I'm such a big faith believer, like I believe that things happen for a reason, and yeah, like I say, when I'm asked you like, is it important to have the education to go through a career? What I'm really looking for is like the answer is like anything is great. Like any experience that you gain throughout your life, if you're able to connect all those dots together, you never know. You might have something that's going on. You just have to keep seeking for it. Before we move on to the next topic, just want to let you guys know this man right here, he's not just like an ordinary teacher. He was actually one of the highest paying teacher in California. If you actually look him up,
you don't want to look me up.
We don't want to look him up, but he's very humble about it. But this man has high reputation from North Cal all the way to Central Cal, and I'm sure his name is being recognized all over California based on robotics. So this guy does a lot of stuff for the youth. He does a lot of stuff at his will without getting paid for it. So that's why when I decided to start this business Beyond the Cream, he was the first person that I approached, because to me, it's not about finding the person who's in the same niche as you. But to me, it was all about finding the person who has the same passion as you, who has the right integrity as you. Because to me, what I look for in partnership is, of course, integrity is always the best. Like, you got to be honest. You cannot just be a BSer, you know what I mean? Second thing is you got to have passion. Like, anything you do, just do it. It's not about the money. Because what I also learned throughout my life is like, come on, let's be honest here, guys. Most of our life, we don't have money. So why do we always put money in front of us when we make a business decision? We don't want to do that. You put passion, integrity first.
Follow your heart.
Dedication, whatever's from your heart. You put that on the plate. And then from there, you're going to see the money grow. That is the model that I have lived by, and I stand by that. And if you stick to that model, you're always going to survive, because the model is you never have money. And then when you do, it's like you know what to do with it.
Also, talking about, being able to tap people, like, forming a team, right? I think, that's very difficult, especially, when you own a business or running a business, right? It's like almost a trust thing, and also the fact that you have to make sure that your team has different aspects of things. Like, for example, like you always, I know with you're very like a forward thinker, right? You always keeping like the whole business like, hey, what do we do this? What's next? And then there'll be some people on the team like, well, hey, let's look at this. These are the things we can do. These are the things we can't do. Right. And then, there'll be other people who like don't mind worrying about the finances. Right. I mean, I don't want to worry about the finances. Right. But being able to put the right set of teams there to be able to, so that we can all cover each other's bases, I think is very important.
And, I've learned that from actually working and managing at Toys R Us. Honestly, shout out to my old store manager, Christy Farley. The reason why I want to give her a shout out is because she taught me how to place people in the right spot. You know what I mean? Because she was good for that.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned is if you're able to seek out people's opportunities and skill set and you put them in the right place, they execute and excel faster.
Yeah.
So I was blessed about that. That's why when I formed this team for Beyond the Cream, I knew you were going to be like my engineer guy. I knew you were going to be the guy who's going to be tech savvy, understanding all the software that's going on. And like you mentioned, like I'm not good with financial
Mhm.
stuff,
Mhm.
and I know my wife, she doesn't want to deal with that.
Mhm.
But having another partner who is
Mhm.
Jimmy is, he's more a
Mhm.
number guy. So
Yeah.
having a person, so yeah, having different people
Mhm.
play a different role
Mhm.
is so tremendous for Beyond the Cream.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's talk about Beyond the Cream a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that.
I know we just want to give you guys a quick 20 minutes of our personal life
Yeah,
and what we're doing and how we maneuver stuff, right?
Let's
So,
give them an update of what's going on, right?
so let's talk about Beyond the Cream real quick. How are you feeling so far in terms of like we've been open for we launched for 2 months.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work.
October.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of work involved. But let's talk about the product first before
Yeah.
we talk about like what's our ultimate goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about the foot file.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts
I-
about this foot file so far?
Let me see. Actually, when we first were, I remember we were like doing these videos that we were, trying to advertise how the foot file works, right? I mean, it's crazy now with the technology, especially, right? I
Right.
mean, if you look from that standpoint, I mean, before foot file was like made of metal or made of sandpaper, whatever it is,
Right.
right? But the fact that you were able to have such a simple piece of nanoglass on there that like literally, I mean, the results are instantaneous, right?
Right.
I think for us, being able to get the foot file was the right decision, because the thing was that it was people can see the results instantaneously,
Right.
and also the fact that it's easily achieve, they can easily get this, right?
Yeah.
So
And what amazes me the most when I got my hand on this foot file is
Mhm.
that it's made out of glass.
Yeah.
And the first thing pop on my head was like, how come we never thought about that?
Yeah.
We spent so much time cheese grater,
Yeah.
blade, metal, and it gets dull. And we got these like paper sander. We got the rock, and then nobody ever thought about this glass.
even the
So,
battery operated or the electric operated
yeah,
sander,
the
drum, yeah,
it's-
that's what
it's
it
just
is.
Too much work.
Yeah.
Simple solution, and it's actually environment friendly too,
Yeah.
because you don't have to really use too much anything that's electronics
Yeah,
battery.
you wash it, clean it off, it's ready to go.
Yep.
I mean, so it's that I think I mean, all of our products are great, but I think like the one that if someone would ask me, hey, out of all that, what's the best one that you thought that was like really like that you were proud of, like, again, not to say that one is better than the other one, it was just like for us starting up this business, the foot file was like, it was like gold to us, literally.
It was our signature move.
Yes.
To like, hey, let's go into the market with a different voice.
Mhm.
Like, hey, we're gonna try use nanoglass.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, with that being said, we also got some really good feedback on the cream.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to our customer for the last 2 months
Mm.
who loves the product.
Yeah.
And you guys put some awesome reviews, and
Thank you very much for doing
I
that.
appreciate the feedback. And with these feedback that you guys are giving us, we're only gonna get better. We're only gonna do better.
Yeah.
So
So
about this,
what's the
cream, right?
general trend? So I noticed, like, just looking at the orders, people usually do the foot file and the cream as a combination.
So
for them,
lately,
for
the
some
order that
reason.
we've been seeing
Yeah.
is the foot file and the cream.
Yeah.
And because of that, we have decided to make the foot file and the cream as a bundle.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
what I'm trying to tell you is that we actually listen. Like
Yeah.
like when we start seeing a pattern of
Yeah.
demands, we make that possible for our customer
Yeah,
to
and
have their hands on it.
I think that's just basic common sense for business, right?
Right,
you,
right.
you're not selling it for yourself. You listen to the customer and their needs.
And that's our goal,
Mhm.
because and that's always been my motto,
Mhm.
And you guys know when I started this brand, it's not just about, yes, it's about how well the product worked, but at the end of the day, we got to bring back customer service.
Mhm.
We had to bring back that organic customer service where we are connecting with you, we understand, we hear you, we read your comment, we take your feedback very
Mhm.
seriously.
Mhm.
And to me, that is what we need for next gen's business.
And also, viewers, I want you guys to realize this, okay? Just because we have these products, we always try our best to make sure that we give you the best quality product. But sometimes we're not perfect, right?
Right.
So sometimes we're like, hey, let's try this out. Like, for example, our cuticle pen, right? We just barely had that outgoing. We made our own oil, right?
Yep.
I mean, we mix it ourselves, right? And who knows? It could be a big seller, or it can be like, oh my God, what is this? Right? But the thing is that the main thing that you mentioned is that we listen, right? So
Right.
and that's just that is just part of running a business,
Right.
right? Being able to go, have a new product, try it out, and always, you don't want to skim out on all, making it cheap,
No.
right? We put our best effort, the best quality, and the best, materials in there, right? And then making sure that you, the viewers, or those who are using it, enjoy it, and you
Right.
don't, right? We listen to your feedback, and like, okay, how can we make it better based upon that?
Because the last thing I be honest with you, man, the last thing I want to have a brand, it's just all false advertisement. I don't want to have a brand where I don't have. If me personally, if I use something and I know I have cheap
Mm-hmm.
ingredients in there, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I personally do not want it. And if I don't want it, why would I want to offer this to my consumers?
And this is just saying that not because we want to sell it, but
Yeah,
this
no,
is just our core value.
I'm just giving you this. This is why this podcast is so important, because you get to see our core value and where we stand by the production that we have in place for our brand. You know, I just want to stand by that. Is because I would not use something if I don't like it.
Yeah.
Period.
Let's talk about the foot cream.
Period.
So like, what has people been saying about the foot cream?
So one of the best stories that I heard so far since we launched is
This
the
is amazing.
fact that one of my wife's ex-pharmacist, she's a retired pharmacist,
Mm-hmm.
her husband had a stroke
Mhm.
in the middle of the street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
Luckily, she was able to find where his location at through the iPhone. Okay. So ever since then, he's paralyzed, some part of his body,
Especially his feet.
especially his feet.
Mm-hmm.
He could not have a lot of sense to his feet. But
Yeah.
the worst part about it, he can feel the pain
Mm.
that's coming from his feet. And she gave us a call, and she was like, "Tina, can I talk to you about your cream?" And she was like, "Yeah, what about it? What do you guys put in the cream?" And we were worried.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah, yeah.
For a minute, we were thinking like,
okay,
is something
yeah.
wrong, And then she's like, "Well, my husband had a stroke, and I rub his feet every single night."
With that.
Well, that's what she
Yeah,
said, right?
yeah.
But she also said, "But ever since I start using your no cap
Mm-hmm.
rejuvenating foot cream,
Mm-hmm.
my husband told me that he doesn't feel any pain on
Wow.
his feet.
Wow.
The swollen on his feet went down."
Wow.
So when she told us that,
Yeah.
it just opens up our mind.
Isn't it crazy? And just so that you know, right? This is not us saying that that's what it's gonna do, right? These are just anecdotes and stories,
It's
right?
it's
Right.
just humbling story
Yes.
that we love hearing
Yeah.
from our consumer.
Because obviously we didn't set out to have this foot cream for that purpose.
No.
We didn't. It's just
Our purpose was
Right.
to restore,
yes.
dry, crack, heal,
Mm-hmm.
moisturize it, and help you circulate it.
Follow up before the foot
Follow
file.
up after the foot file.
Yeah, follow up.
But
Mhm.
for them to say that it takes the pain away,
Yeah.
swollen away, can you imagine
That's crazy.
how many people deal with swollen feet throughout the day?
Yeah, yeah.
Pregnant women,
Yeah.
people who are heavy
Yeah.
on their feet.
And we didn't even know about that.
We didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we were very touched with that
Yeah.
story. And because of that, we want to continue to improve. Like when we hear good feedbacks, we don't
Mhm.
just say, "Okay, we're good enough. Everybody likes us. We can slow down now."
Mhm.
No. When we hear good feedback, we want to keep asking ourselves, what can we do to improve your service
Mhm.
with us at Beyond the Cream?
That's an amazing story, though. I mean,
That is.
Yeah.
It's a great story, and honestly, having somebody share that story is actually more like it actually takes my mind off from so many things
Yeah.
that I was worried about.
Yeah.
And what would I worry about? Like, I wasn't worried that the product wasn't
Yeah.
work. I was
Yeah.
just wanting to hear more feedback, and I was worried like, oh man, I hope they enjoy the product as much as we do.
Yeah.
And honestly, so far the cream's been a hit, and you can tell. I mean, it doesn't move at all, guys.
It's-
This little jar right here, I've been using on so many clients at my
Mhm.
salon.
they love it, huh?
They love it, but it doesn't run out.
Yeah.
It's been 2 months. I still have half a jar.
That's crazy.
And the number one concern that we had, the first question that we had was like, "Hey, we love your cream, but the jar, I don't know if we can use it for the salon." Honestly, if one nail tech gets one of this bottle, they can
Oh,
use
last
it
one.
over a month because you don't need a lot. All you need is a little whip,
Mm-hmm.
and that should takes you
Mm-hmm.
miles.
And and we'll listen, right? We'll listen to our customers, and
Yeah.
if there's a demand for a larger size of this,
Yep.
that's the direction
We
we're
gotta
gonna
make,
head.
and
right?
we still have a couple projects
Yeah.
in line.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
We there's gonna be so much more
Yeah.
fun stuff that we
Yeah.
have in store for you
Yeah.
upcoming year. But before we move on, you know, have you used this radiant body oil?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
Yeah.
so a lot of my clients, they deal with like dry skins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a lot of them, dry elbow, dry skin. Their hands have so much wrinkles. I recommend them this strip oil right here. Okay, this strip oil. Yes, I know not a lot of people use oil.
Yeah.
They think it's sticky. They
Mm.
think it's greasy.
You know,
It's not like that.
so know me, right? I'm not the type of guy that uses oil. This is
Never.
never like me, like nothing. I'm no makeup, obviously, no nothing, right? But so the other thing I do on the side is I actually I'm I fix a lot of I do my own cars and changing oils and stuff like that. So especially during the winter, like it when you work with your hand a lot, especially in a harsh condition,
Yeah.
it gets abused,
Yeah.
right? And and with me, I obviously because we're having this, right? I tried it on, and I actually it actually helped out because especially after when you give your hand a beating after doing all those things, right? You want to be able to still go back in and still use your hand and not have it hurt or have it dried or cracked. So this really helps, especially during the winter. And it's like a simple thing. It's that
It is.
yeah.
It is. And you know what's funny? A lot of my clients actually love it too.
Yeah.
Like I actually sold so much of this oil, but
Yeah.
the fact's not just how good it smells and how
Yeah.
great it is, but the fact that the best feedback I got from this oil is that it's not greasy.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of people don't like greasy oil.
I don't.
You know what I mean? They don't want to feel like
Yeah.
they're walking out of an oven with
Yeah.
bacon. You know what I mean?
You want to
So-
feel like you're moisturized,
Yeah,
right?
but-
But then you don't want to have greasy hand because
Exactly.
especially when you want to do things.
So that's the coolest feedback.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? 2 months into launching our brand, right? I'm actually more excited talking about the
Oh,
Cutie
yeah.
Rescue Cuticle Oil.
right.
I mean, this right here, guys, is again, we're not here to sell you
No.
stuff. We're just here to share with you
Yeah.
what we've been working on.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many brand out there are like sharing you guys behind the scenes stuff.
This
we're
is it.
willing
This
to
is
do it.
behind the scenes.
We are willing to share with you guys so that if you guys are upcoming, wanting to have your own brand, hey, hopefully our feedbacks, our thoughts, our podcast can help you guys
Yeah.
grow to the next level.
Especially with this cutie pen. I mean, I never knew this thing existed. I'm like, why would you need something for your cuticle, right? But I think for me, from my perspective, in the process of like of creating this product, it was pretty like a good learning process, right? Like for I'm not gonna talk about the cuticle oil itself, but I'm gonna talk about like the fact that we have to in order to get this product, right? It didn't just come like this, guys. Right? I mean,
that's the crazy part.
Right? Now, let me ask you, how much does your hand hurt from putting this together?
Well, first of all, the labor intensiveness to put this cap together, like this little thing together,
Mhm.
is a lot of work.
Right.
And we had to do like 700 to 1,000 of that, okay?
Yeah.
But what was more impressive is what we put in this cuticle
Yes.
oil.
Now you notice anyone can easily go get online and get a pen like this filled with the oil, whatever that oil is. But we
They can
just
fill
signed
it
up to
with
get.
avocado oil.
yes.
They can fill it with corn oil.
Yeah.
They can fill it with vegetable oil, and they just put a sense, and you have no
Yeah.
idea what's in it. And they
Again,
will say it
yeah.
works.
It goes back to our core values, right?
Yes.
The core values we don't put. I want to put something in here that I myself would like to use,
Correct.
right?
I want to put something that's on my body that I know is safe.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's gonna work, and I know it's gonna be quality.
Yeah.
And that's the best part because, and to be honest with you, that's my most exciting part. Like
Yeah.
this was exciting.
Yeah.
This was exciting because we get to
Yeah.
pick and put the
Yeah.
ingredients together.
Yeah.
But this was handmade.
Yep.
This was made. And how was this made? If you guys watch one of my video when I released this Cutie Rescue Cuticle Oil, we had different type of natural pure oil from different location, India, Argentina, our scents combined
All
with different
essential oils,
all
right?
essential oils.
And the thing is we have control of what goes in there.
We have control what goes in there,
Yes.
and that's the most important part.
Yes.
And that's what makes it exciting because
Mhm.
we get to control what goes
Yeah.
in here. We get to share with you.
Yes.
And to me, that's where my proud moment stands.
Obviously, well, for those who are watching and probably going to our website, this is not out there yet.
It's not.
But we did.
We did an exclusive giveaway where
Yes.
during Black Friday event or Thanksgiving week,
Mhm.
we were giving this out for free.
Yep.
So it was amazing.
So-
And I know what a couple hundred people probably got
Yeah,
it in their
yeah.
hand right now, and I can't wait to get the feedback on
Yeah,
it.
if you that's actually very important. Again, I think the reason why we wanted to give it away to people was the fact that we wanted people to tell us, hey, this is good, or hey, you need to kind of change it up. Whatever that feedback is. But that's very important to us. So if you ever get a chance and you have this in your hand and you use it, give it a week or so and see how it comes out. But come back to us, leave a feedback. I don't care if you have to like send him the feedback or put it onto our website, whatever it is. We really listen to you. We actually read those feedback.
We do.
And we have actually when we have a meeting, we're like, okay, hey, what can we do next?
You'd be surprised, but every meeting we always bring up customers' feedback. Like, hey, this person say this person say that. What's the plan? What's the execution move?
Mm-hmm.
We really want to listen because honestly, as a brand, in order for us to grow, we have to get your feedback. In order for us to really grow, we have to take your feedback seriously and apply it to our brand.
So that the audience know, right? Because obviously, like, wow, hey, now you guys have this new product, right? So how is it involved? Like, how is everyone involved in this new product? Like, for example, could you tell what responsibility do you have when this new product comes out for the team?
Oh my God! So when we decided to launch this oil, right? The first thing we had to do was we had to research the oil.
Mhm.
I mean, the first thing is like what type of oil we need,
Mm-hmm.
quality wise.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 100% pure?
Mm-hmm.
Even there's vitamin E in here,
Yeah.
and it's 100% vitamin E in here. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the first thing is we getting the ingredients down. Secondly, what I had to do was I had to pick the right people for the job.
Yeah.
And again, back to what we mentioned earlier, I'm very good at identifying people's weakness and strength. So my wife, she's a biochemist, and
Mhm.
she does a lot of mixing medication.
You
as a
saw it on those
pharmacist.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I figured, hey, you're gonna take on this job. She was like, "Is it really me?" I'm like, "Yes, it is you." Uh,
Sorry,
got,
Tina.
got her on the job. Her and another partner who's also a pharmacist, and then I also have my other partner who start getting the cap,
Mm-hmm.
the labeling. So everybody's doing some tasks. This gentleman right here sitting next to me, his job was to make sure this product is on our website, ready for review. This
Oh,
product is ready to
that-
release.
That back end stuff was
The
difficult.
back end stuff was difficult because when you release something new,
Yeah.
there's like a standard protocol that you have to follow through, like product description, how many pound it weighs,
Yeah.
what's in it, and the size of the box, even the size of the cap. So
Yes.
everything is tied down to the T.
Yes.
And so but you know what? With this project, it was awesome because we have some experience from,
Last few?
our
Mhm.
launch. We
Mhm.
had some experience from our previous job. We
Mhm.
just put together. We able to release this before the holiday. So this was one of our biggest milestone for Beyond the Cream, just to release something that's in house
Mhm.
with the right ingredients
Yeah.
that we want.
And like, so you guys know, like, you don't really have to know about the beauty industry, to do this. Let me give you a great example. Like, a while ago, I just asked him, "Hey, does your hand hurt?" Because, fortunately, we had a good team. We
Right.
would put how many of us did we put together?
We put together a total of 700 to 1,000.
So imagine, okay, so I'm not familiar with these type of pen. It's this top part pushes in, right? So imagine doing that many times.
It's very hard. Once you
Yes.
put this in, you can't take it off. It's very hard.
Yeah.
And our hand was getting blistered.
Yes.
It was getting purple. So, we reach out to this gentleman right here. We're like, hey, man,
What can we do?
I need a solution because I cannot continue to press this thing down. My hand's hurting. So, of course,
And that's what I'm working on. So like, now, we have a temporary solution ish, right? But the thing is that being able to find the right product, customize some piece to be able to like just snap it in and good to go. So, like I said, you don't have to really have your knowledge in this, but whatever skill set that you have can always greatly contribute, right? So I think
Right.
that's what I like about our team.
right. I know we're this podcast has been really long
but it's
and
good.
it's awesome. I love
Yeah.
it, and I wish we can continue to talk, but I'm sure there's gonna be more segment
Mhm.
for upcoming week.
Mhm.
But I just wanna sum this up to you guys that if you guys are out there who wants to have your own brand, who want to start something new, my best advice that I can give you is don't be afraid of failing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was my biggest fear is what if I fail? What if this? What if that? What if you don't fail? How come we don't ask ourselves that question? We're constantly asking ourselves why if we do bad, but what if we do well? But with that being said, the fear that we should be more worried about is how to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, failing is actually the easiest part of
It is, and you know,
being successful.
in any experiences that you have, whether you're working for someone or in school, I think we all tend to learn a lot from our mistakes and
Right.
failing. But
Mhm.
so you actually have to fail to be able to improve, right?
Absolutely.
And so this is just part of the process. I mean, it might not look nice, right? It's pretty stressful.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, since we launched, we made
Yeah.
several mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're not major mistakes, but we learn
And-
from it. You know, we learn to walk,
Mhm.
pick up our slacks, and
Mhm.
get better at it. But like I say, just you know, don't be afraid of just failing. Be afraid of how you can keep things going.
Yeah.
You know, in anything in life, a relationship, a marriage, a job, to keep things going longer and longer, it actually takes more work. It takes a lot of stress.
It does. It does.
You know?
Yes.
Quitting is easy. Quitting, you
Yes.
just walk out the door and slam the door and walk away.
You know, I mean, there, you know, and whenever you're doing things like this, there are times when you have those thoughts in your mind, like, yeah, man, this is difficult. You know,
Yeah, and I
I'd rather
wanna
just
give
want to,
up.
right? I just rather want to sit in front of the TV and just like watch and do nothing and
And
be
you know what?
okay,
And
right?
then you're gonna regret again. You're gonna
Yes,
just
there
sit
you
there and
go.
regret like I should have never made that move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't make that mistake.
But
guys.
you know, I think one of the things I'm learning is that, you know, there's never a right time to start something new,
Yeah.
right? It's never, you know, oh, well, I'm gonna wait until my kid turns a certain age, or oh, I'm gonna wait until like, you know, I get my promotion, then I'll quit my job to do this. You know, there's never a right time,
Yeah.
right?
You
It's
just
just,
have to do it.
yep.
I think the key is you just have to do it. Don't think, just do it.
All right.
Other than that, man, it was actually a very good segment. You
Yeah.
know, thank you for being my co-host.
And-
Thank you for being my partner.
No,
Not
and
just
we-
and thank you for being my friend.
And we are gonna be doing more of this, right? And you know, whenever
Hopefully we
have
do
time-
it once a week.
Oh, yeah,
Because
definitely.
you know
Something
we,
like
we
that.
do meet up once a week.
Yeah.
If you guys want to talk about any type of topic regarding the nail industry, regarding being an engineer, regarding an entrepreneur, how to stay motivated, any topic, just leave in the comment. We're always gonna look at it, respond to it. But other than that, if you guys love this podcast, I'm coming back with a vengeance. Not really, but make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on my next podcast.
Also, don't forget to support us.
Thank you very much.